Welcome back to At Sixes and Sevens. I am not Tommy.
And I'm not Rio. Today we're diving into one of the most infamous hauntings in history, which some of you might know, called the Enfield Poltergeist.
This is an interesting one. This is like one of the most famous cases out there. The Enfield Poltergeist is in the late 1970s. This case captivated the world with its strange occurrences and even stranger witnesses.
Now, from what I've kind of read and researched about, it's your classic tale of all your ghostly shenanigans that happen in movies, like Paranormal Activity and all the basic kind of moving furniture or whatever.
They're all inspired by this.
Oh yeah, but it's more like your average family reunion, but minus the kind of the awkward small talk with the family, and just with a bit more, levitation and demonic chants.
That sounds rather pleasant, I'd say.
Well, I wouldn't say it's
kind of gets on my nerves.
Yeah, so you just start going, no. But the story itself revolves around a family called the Hodgson family, who lived in kind of just a modest home in Enfield, North London, which is, well, to be fair, it's actually not that far from me, which is scary to think about, but we'll digress.
No, that is terrifying. I love creepy places and all that, but to know that something like that can happen so close to, even though you didn't grow up back then, it still happened so close to where you grew up, kind of thing.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, at that point, I could just pick up. I could just drive my car right to the haunt site. What was the name for it? Is it haunt site? The site of the haunt?
I think it's just
haunted house.
Yeah, I'd say that's correct terminology.
Haunted house sounds a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. Possessed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I like that. So let's get started with the mother. Oh God,
let's get that's what the ghost said. Into the news.
Peggy Hutchins. She was raising her 4 children. Can anybody guess the names of the children? I bet you can. If you go back to 1970s and think of 4 very common names like Margaret, Janet, Johnny, and Billy. Hey, by the way, that's the names of the kids.
Really? Well, that was so generic.
Very, very generic. I know, right?
Oh, God. Imagine being the mother.
I know. Gosh. Honestly, I wouldn't say they're bad names. There's worse names.
No, they're not bad names, but they're so generic and, could have at least spiced it up with, I don't know, something like Januel.
Jano.
Januel. Like January and Daniel. Like Januel.
I thought it was Jack Daniels just mixed into one word.
Oh, of course the alcoholic would say that.
Sorry. That's just me,
Yeah,
but she was raising her 4 kids when things took quite a paranormal turn.
I mean, to be fair, it's just imagining juggling 4 kids and then having to deal with furniture moving outside. What?
I just imagined her juggling 4 kids in the air.
Oh my God, no. Just all right, it's your turn, Johnny.
She's like, God. Margaret, Janet, Johnny, Billy, Margaret, Janet, Johnny, Billy.
They've made a song and it's like a daily routine. Come on, kids, it's time to juggle.
She's like, shit, Janet's levitating, she's not coming back down.
She started flying somehow and I'm not sure why. Oh, but,
Oh, gosh. Sorry, my apologies. Go on. It's just my imagination.
I was just saying, talk about multitasking where, you're juggling 4 kids and then you've got moving furniture flying all over the place.
Yeah. So, what you're trying to say for people that can't take it seriously is she's trying to raise 4 children and have to deal with furniture getting moved left, right, and centre by itself.
Yeah, trying to raise 4 children and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
dealing with, I don't know, Harry Potter kind of stuff where just furniture flying all over the place. An
It's like
owl comes through your front door or something. I don't know.
when you try and pronounce, for example, a Polish name. When you try and pronounce a Polish first and surname, the table starts floating because my God, are they tough to pronounce?
Podolsky. Oh my god.
God damn it, not again. There goes Grandma.
The furniture's moving again.
It's like that scene from Harry Potter where the auntie gets really fat and she floats away.
Oh my god! Don't remind me. I don't want to be traumatized again.
Oh my goodness. But as I said earlier, it all began in the late 1970s. To be specific, it was August 1977. And it all started with something simple as strange knocking sounds on doors and walls. Just, they would echo through the house. Just standard knocking. That's it. Basically the British version of a ghost saying, "Excuse me."
It could have just been like the postman.
Chap.
Like, can you open the door, please? I'm trying to give you your post there. Like,
literally.
I'm just kind of like picturing in my head a typical evening where the kids are settled down and, suddenly out of the blue, a chorus of mysterious knocks just begins echoing all throughout the house.
It's like you've got jungle drums, but instead it's on the walls and the door.
But part 2.
Right? Oh no! Here come the rhinos. Oh my God!
Oh no!
Peggy thought it might just be the kids playing tricks. Like typical kids, they'll play jungle.
Oh yeah, the little mischievous kids.
Exactly. It's what you expect having 4 kids.
I mean, if like the knocking got worse and if it intensified, I think at that point it's just I feel like Peggy herself would suspect that her kids are just being a bit of cheeky.
Yeah, and like, who would blame her? Like, at the end of the day, it's not every day that your home turns into like a ghostly carnival.
It sounds like something that would be put into Beetlejuice, like an event that would.
Oh yeah, really, it would.
My name is Rumba Pete, and it's just like the kids just playing the drums or something. Like, start samba and just go. That's so culturally appropriate. I'm sorry. So things escalated from 1 to 100 like quickly when one night a chest of drawers moved across the room all on its own. None of the kids were there. The mum wasn't moving anything. I don't know how, but the drawers themselves just moved from one side of the room to the other.
Right, I'm sorry, but a chest of drawers, especially like in the 70s, so that's like old, heavy wooden furniture.
Oh, they're like massively heavy, like iron bolted kind of things.
Yeah, and like
with all the clothes in them as well, so it's
exactly. I'm pretty sure it was full as well. So I'm sorry, but not 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the kids could move it all together. And I'm guessing the mother would struggle to move it. And for it to move across the room, that's terrifying.
I mean, that ghost must have some supernatural strength.
God damn, that ghost is built.
I kind of want to see this ghost, you know.
I know, right? I just imagine like a Henry Cavill-esque ghost.
I could see that.
Oh my God. Right, let's stop exciting all the single mums and let's move on.
For all you single mums out there, keep watching.
It gets better.
We just described your dream man as a ghost. Don't worry, women. He's single, but he's dead.
But no, that's like, see, when that happened, that's when Peggy knew she was screwed. She was in for more than just,
she was in for a good night, but
with Henry Cavill, I know, right? But no, she knew she'd expect more. Like she knew it's just more than the usual sibling kind of squabbles.
Yeah, no, of course you wouldn't kind of imagine them moving a chest of drawers from one side of the room to the other. Like, imagine how much shock she would be in. Like, you're putting the kids to bed, everything's nice, the furniture just starts rearranging itself like it's auditioning for something, like, woo! Opening the cupboards, clothes are flying out all over the place, the kids are trying to suffocate under the
It's
cupboard,
like that scene from Beauty and the Beast when the chest of drawers like starts dressing Bella, and they're all getting there prepared and they start dancing about and all that. I bet you that's what happened.
But the horror and supernatural version of it.
Exactly, rather than Beauty and the Beast and happy ever after, it's you're doomed. That's
go to sleep.
But when a chair reportedly flew across the room, Peggy's heart must have skipped a beat at that point. I would have been absolutely terrified.
A chair?
Yeah. So it moved
the chair just flew across.
It moved from a chest of drawers and other small or bigger bits of furniture moving about to actual furniture getting chucked across the room.
You know how we were saying this this ghost was buff?
Yeah.
Right, just humour me for a second. What if this ghost was a WWE wrestler? Just wanted a smacker on the head with a chair.
The Rock?
It could be The Rock, it could be John Cena, it could be Rey Mysterio, who knows? The Undertaker would be kind of cool.
To be fair, it could be The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. Be one of the two.
I mean, he's alive, so.
Oh well. True.
But I think that was just the way of the ghost was saying, just kind of, shut up, kids, clean yourselves up, or go to bed. I can't be bothered with you, so I'm just going to hold your room.
The ghost felt bad for the mother raising the kids on her own. Yeah, so the ghost is like, you know what? I want to chuck this chair at them to get them to go to bed, and I'm going to help the mother out here. Raise them with some
You may be a single
consequences.
Mother, but now you're not.
Yeah, right. As we go back to the single mothers, oh my god, it's all coming back. Henry Cavill, hit me up. I'm not a single mother, but
I could be.
I could be for you. But the reports of these events just began to spread. It started drawing attention with the neighbors, and you'd walk out onto the streets, and your neighbor would be like, "So Betty, did you get that table put back into place? Because I heard you were moving furniture last night again." He's like, "Absolutely not. No, it was Henry." She's like, "I didn't know you had a man again." She's like, "Yeah, it's the poltergeist just living about, it's fine." But it also moved on to the media.
If you're thinking about it as well, how would the neighbours react to seeing furniture flying across a window? Either one kid is super strong, or there's like so much more going on there that probably needs to be investigated.
Yeah. See, if I saw furniture fly across the room at a neighbour's house, I'd think to myself, I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that's a domestic."
Just imagine if they had Twitter or like TikTok or anything back then, just recording it and just being like, "Yeah, this is just a casual occurrence for my neighbours."
Hashtag Enfield Poltergeist just had a wardrobe levitate. What's your ghost story?
Day in the life of a poltergeist.
Hashtag what it's like to have a poltergeist roommate.
Oh, that'd be sick though.
That'd be quite cool.
You'd be alone, but at the same point you wouldn't, because you'd have someone always there. Either way, the local media around kind of Enfield began to swarm to this house, just eager just to see what.
Of course, nothing's changed.
Oh yeah, no. If you would be interested, if you heard some furniture was flying around, you'd instantly go there and check it out, wouldn't you? You wouldn't say, "Oh no, I'm just going to leave it." You want to go and see what happens and how kind of supernatural it actually is.
You've got a good point. It's quite funny that everybody, as you said, swarmed around and were interested in what was going on and sticking their noses through the windows. It's like Peggy should have charged them like admission fees. She's like, £5 to see the poltergeist chuck a chair, £10 to see the poltergeist chuck a table, 20 quid to see the poltergeist chuck Janet.
To juggle the kids. Yeah, I'll go back to that one. Or if you get hit, you get a refund at least. Or to get hit is even
charge,
more. It's
yeah,
like
you charge
quid,
extra.
Yeah. To get hit by a table, it's £50. £50. Anybody take it? Oh,
Sounds like the Greatest Showman to me. Just one big scam.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a scam because it actually did happen.
Oh, that's very true. That's a good point.
I think we should get into the investigators because I think this is where it gets interesting because it's, I think they're like world-renowned investigators, I believe. Or like very famous ones.
Before we do that, I'm just going to mention the ages of everyone here.
Oh, yeah.
So, Peggy, I don't know her age. I couldn't really find it. But Margaret was 15, the oldest out of the four. Janet was 11. Johnny was 10. And Billy was 7. And this all happened...
So varied ages.
Yeah, between 1977 and 1979.
Trying to think how old they'd be to this day, but... Imagine if
maths doesn't math, does it?
Yeah, no, I'm not a great mathematician. Going back to the investigators, though.
So
the most famous among them were, I'm going to butcher these names, were Maurice Gross, or Gross, and Guy Lyon Playfair, which sounds like the most carnival-based name.
That is very true.
He literally has lion in his name and
with
Playfair.
A Y.
Yeah, I know. That's the French.
They came there to see the juggled children and the chucking of chairs.
That's literally down their alley. It's just like, welcome to the kind of the weird circus. My name's Guy Lyon Playfair. But he was from the Society of Physical Research, which I've never heard of that before, actually.
The SPR, I guess. I've never heard of that either, honestly. I'm guessing it fell apart. They went to the circus or something.
Yeah.
Spur some change.
Because we're not an actual thing.
But it's the Society of Physical Research, but they arrived with ghost hunting gear. Like, they were ready to capture evidence of the supernatural. They came with all these EV detectors and all of that cool stuff that I really want to get myself because holy moly,
like the stuff you get on Phasmophobia and all that, like the cameras, the tape recorders, the 70s version of a ghost hunting toolkit.
Yeah, literally. That's it.
That's the dream, honestly.
That's the thing. Like, I watched Sam and Colby religiously. Like, I was literally watching them not long before starting this recording, and. Oh my god, like, see the stuff they do, it's incredible. I was watching it with goosebumps the entire time, and it's something that I want to do one day as well.
I was going to say, what episode are we going to go to a haunted place and be like, with all the gear, and be like, yep, this is what we're doing today. I'd hate it.
I'd love it.
But, you'd love it, but I'd be screaming and be like, I want to get out of here as soon as possible.
I've got a few side stories that we can talk about in a side stories episode, about haunted places. It'll all be available for free eventually. Well, so don't worry. Yeah. But the investigators were greeted by the Hudgens. I cannot pronounce this. Anyway, I'm just going to say
the children.
By the kids, yeah.
By the hogs, yeah.
By the hogs. I like that. But they were greeted by the kids who were less thrilled to have them in their home, because it turned into like a paranormal kind of petting zoo, like a circus once again, where people are just flocking.
They still had to live there, didn't they?
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't just they had somewhere else to live, they had to live in that place whilst the whole poltergeist and haunting was going on.
Yeah. It's not really fair. Imagine growing up in a house that's just got strangers going in and out.
Well, no, just imagine a kid and suddenly having to perform for a bunch of adults with cameras. Like, well, it's basically what we do nowadays, but back then it was this whole new thing.
Yeah.
Where if someone came into your house with a camera, it's like, what is this thing?
Like, why is this man holding a crucifix and a candle levitating in my living room? Like,
What
what
is he
is going
saying? It
on?
sounds like a chant, like a sacrificial lamb or something. I don't know. It's strange.
Oh, that's called throat singing.
Oh, I can do that actually.
So can I, but not today.
Yeah,
That'll be
we're
on the
not going to do
Patreon.
that. Just us throat singing for like 4 hours straight.
um, but you know what really kept the story alive, kind of, was the multiple eyewitnesses who actually saw things that they couldn't explain. So, you know, people would come round and try and see things and just have a nosy, but they would physically see things, and, you know, they'd become eyewitnesses after just having a nosy.
Yeah, but they couldn't say anything. Like they couldn't explain what happened because it was so
Yeah.
like starstruck.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because they saw everything happened, but it's almost like a ghost has taken them over and like they don't want to explain it. Like maybe the ghost possessed them in that sense. Maybe I don't know. Like I think even local police officers who were there were called to the Hodgson house, just claimed to see that the chairs had been moving on their own.
So even the police claimed to see things. That's incredible.
Hmm.
Interesting.
How would you
I like
even
that.
deal with that though?
I know,
This is-
right?
Hmm.
Dispatch, I've got a moving chair. What?
I've got 3 moving chairs. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
I need
Like,
backup.
are they inviting
I
us to
think.
dinner or what?
Well, you're so kind.
I know, right? It's like when you walk up to a table, right? And you'd see this in movies, when a guy and a female were to sit at a table at a restaurant, the man would walk over around the other side, pull the chair out, let the female sit,
Oh
and
yeah, be a
push the chair
gentleman.
back in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what if the ghosts were just, sorry, the poltergeists were just trying to do that, but they didn't know their own strengths? And I don't know if anybody's ever seen Julian the Phantoms, but basically ghosts need to learn how to control you know, their strength and what they can do. So, you know, they try and pick things up, they can't, and then they really need to focus to do something. So what if these poltergeists were just learning? They're rookies. You never know.
Well, yeah, no. Adding on to that, they don't know their own strengths, so they were trying to like just slightly tug a chair out, and instead they throw it through the window. That's what I imagine, anyway.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it would be fun to see, but I'd be scared out of my head, like I say.
I would run out crying. I'd be vomiting out my and everything. Like, genuinely.
I'd be the person who gets hit with the chair.
And I'd be the one throwing it. We don't even need poltergeist at this point. But going back to what you said about the police actually seeing things, so one of the police officers actually ended up signing an affidavit saying that she saw a chair slide across the room. Basically, what that means is she swore she saw it, and
on oath kind of thing, like
yeah,
no lie, cap kind of thing.
and because she done that, and she's an officer of the law, that kind of gave the case a bit more weight, like, you know, pun intended.
Oh dear, you and your puns, they're terrible.
Sorry, I'm a 47-year-old.
Oh yes, I clearly know that, with a lot of strength apparently. But yeah, so the neighbours and the visitors and like all the kind of police and everything reported seeing all these strange things too. So it wasn't just the police, it wasn't just the family, it was neighbours, it was visitors, it was the paranormal investigators or whatever they were. So it wasn't just like one person making these claims, it was a whole bunch of people in like a circle almost.
So then you had more trusted sources, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So if one of them said it and said, "Oh, I'll prove your point," and then it actually does it, you're like, "Oh wait, what?"
And this again, you know, it contributed to the media frenzy. It drew in more curious onlookers and more paranormal enthusiasts as well, just which made more and more people come out there. but also made more and more people see it for themselves, which made more and more eyewitnesses. So it was
Which
this
also
big circle.
Which also made the kids a bit more annoyed because they have so many people coming to see their house now, and it's a rotation, like it's a revolving door of people be like, "Yep, I want to see this poltergeist house."
The children would be really pissed off, especially that the poltergeist was their friend.
Oh,
it was. If you're lonely and you don't really have a father figure growing
way to
up.
point it out. I know I am. Jesus.
Listen, you don't really have a father figure growing up. You make friends with Shadow.
Oh yeah, it's a single mum, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what the kids done, they decided to name the poltergeist Fred.
Oh god, so generic again.
And you know what that done?
But what?
It made him more active. More objects were thrown, and now the interesting thing starts. The strange voices echoed through the halls.
So naming a ghost makes him speak, apparently.
Yeah, because what if that wasn't his name? Actually, that wasn't his name.
Do we know what the name was?
Bill.
Bill?
Yeah.
Was it by any chance a...
it wasn't the kid called Billy. It was Bill.
No. Mm-hmm. But was it a triangular kind of ghost? A triangular pyramid? Or was it an actual person?
It was an actual... It's a poltergeist. It's not a triangular thing.
Yeah, but it could have been a triangle. Crack the cipher and all that. But can you... Going back to it, can you imagine living in a house where your ghost has a name?
Uh-huh.
The amount of things you could say is like, Fred, can you stop throwing my shoes again? I'm trying to go to school, man. You're just ruining my day. I'm trying to get to work. You're throwing my shoes about and I can't do anything.
Go on in, no do that. Go on in, stop.
Can he stop that? I'm just trying to get my food and you're just, flinging a fork all over the place.
That is brilliant. The kid's saying, Fred, you pass me a fork, please?
Can you pass me the salt, please? Just started moving across the table.
Right.
What a great father figure this ghost is.
The children also often claim to see strange apparitions, adding an extra layer of creepiness to an already tense situation.
So like a sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, kinda.
Or Bill. They've just named their
Fred.
sleep paralysis demon. Yeah, Bill, Fred, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, they named it Fred, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just objects as well. Like I know you said about just objects, but the Hodgson children, but especially Janet, who I think Janet wasn't the other one, was she?
Janet is the 11-year-old.
Okay, so she was the mid one, but she claimed to see shadowy figures lurking in the house. Like in the dark of night, she saw shadowy figures move about the house.
Oh, that's nasty. Because right now, where I'm sitting is it's rather quite dark in my room, and it's just one little light.
You could just imagine it.
Yeah, literally, I just seen it in the corner of my eye. I'm like, nah, I'm
not gonna think about that tonight.
And words of Saint Nickelback, I'm a burn this house down.
Saint Nickelback.
I'm a burn this house down. That's what I'm gonna do. If I see anything like that, this bitch is going down.
Because we all just don't want to be poltergeist living.
Oh my god.
That is incredible.
Oh my god. But no, shadowy figures. Oh, it's like having an uninvited guest who just won't leave. It's like a squatter? But one that you can't.
A ghostly
touch.
Squatter, yeah. You physically can't move him out. He's just staying there for life now. But I think one of the most unsettling aspects was like this strange, deep voice that Janet seemed to channel during the haunting.
Well,
So
what do you
obviously
mean?
saw
So
the
she
shadowy
she
bit.
went from "Hi, my name's Janet" to "Yo, what's up, bitch?"
Basically, yeah.
Oh my
She had a
god.
high pitched voice, but it's almost like the demon or the poltergeist or whatever you want to call it
Hmm.
spoke through her as a megaphone.
Oh, nice. It's
So
like Lilo and Stitch, like when
yeah,
Stitch,
exactly like that.
puts his nail on that thing and he's a megaphone.
Yeah,
I
but
like that.
imagine a 12-year-old girl.
Now that's
Context.
she's getting
Context.
kicked right across the room.
Just yep.
Be gone, bitch. Go away.
Be gone.
I'm a child of God. Oh. But apparently at times it sounded like an old man speaking through her. Which obviously baffled even the most experienced investigators, they probably had never heard of anything like it.
Yeah, I think that was at the point where the voice itself identified it, the paranormal encounter is Bill, so that's where I think the name came from. But I think he was like a previous occupant of the house. That's what I've looked at anyway.
Interesting. Because that kind of proves that Janet didn't make this up, because she named the poltergeist Fred, and all of a sudden it said its name is Bill. So if she wanted to kind of keep going with this story and keep making it up, she would be like, "My name's Fred," but it said a different name, which kind of proves that it's real.
Or she got everything completely wrong, that he wanted to correct her in the only way he knew how, and that was like through just possessing her.
Imagine.
God damn you, you're so stupid.
You had one job.
Get my name right.
It's like he would say things like, "Just before I died, I went blind. Then I had a hemorrhage." I almost said a hemorrhoid. I had a hemorrhage, and I fell asleep and died in the chair in the corner downstairs. Creepy, right? Well, maybe not my voice. Mine can't really do it.
No. But a better voice than that, but very kind of deep and raspy. Yeah. Like, imagine that coming from your little sister. So you were one of the siblings at that point. All you can hear is just like that.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't even let her finish this sentence. I'd just sucker punch her right in the face.
Like, hey, yo, what? Who are you? Just smack her with a pillow and just try and like shut her up.
And then she gets up. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I burped, or like I had an air bubble in my throat and made me sound weird." I'm like, "You still getting punched, bitch? Like, don't do that again."
Sorry, I'm going through puberty. My bad.
That's terrifying.
It really is.
But no, she apparently spoke in this voice, like this horrible, raspy, gravelly voice for hours.
That must hurt your voice.
I know, right? If I scream in a car for an hour, I come back, I'm like, "Hello, help, somebody, I can't talk." But a child, especially whose voice isn't fully oh god, I don't even want to think about it. But
the damage it could do to vocal cords.
Exactly.
I know a lot about that.
She would do it without showing signs of strain. Like, oh yeah, it's bizarre.
I don't think anyone could do that. The only person who could do something like that is, professional screamers or professional
Chester Bennington.
Yeah, exactly, like Oliver Sykes, Chester Bennington, Toby Duncan, people like that. But not a 12-year-old, 11-year-old girl who's just going for, hours on end.
And if she can do that, she needs to be the new lead singer of Linkin Park.
Oh, fully. I wholeheartely agree with that. She'd do so well. Just giving up and then screaming for like an hour straight instead.
Like, and today we have Janet, aka Bill.
Janet, aka Bill Hodgson.
exactly.
Moving on though, the haunting itself. So moving back to the haunting,
Right.
it reached its peak during a séance that was held in the home. The
Okay.
atmosphere itself was like thick with tension in like scenes you'd see in a horror movie, I think.
Where everybody's like sitting around the table and they're just kind of, they know something's going on. They know
Yeah,
something's going to happen. It's
exactly.
that eerie.
That tension, that kind of built up, like what is going to happen? Is it going to be a jump scare? Is it going to be, what's his name? Henry Cavill.
Going back to good old Henry.
Oh yeah, we need to.
But no, apparently during this event, Janet reportedly went into a trance-like state.
Oh.
It's like the ghost was auditioning for a role in Ghostbusters.
Just Bill Murray bursts down the door and goes, "It's time for you to get in the trap," or something. Just throws so many things and starts grabbing her with the proton pack. Yep, sure. That's how we do. That's how they dealt with ghosts back in 1970s.
What she done? She was standing in the corner with a Hoover on her back. You know, she was Henry the Hoover.
Yeah.
The British Ghostbusters, Henry the Hoover.
Ghost busted. Investigators, though, they claim to have captured chilling EVPs during this time. Do you know what EVPs
are? So I think the EVP is the machine that like reads signals and it lights up green or red.
Not EMP. I know what you were trying to say.
The EVP is the voice one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what does it stand for? Electronic voice phenomenon thing.
Oh, okay.
So it picks up like frequencies, like you said, yeah, and it like kind of translates it into words. Sam and Kobe explained it better. I'm bad at explaining it, but yeah,
shout out Sam
it actually
Kobe,
captures real words from the other side.
What the poltergeist and what he was trying to say.
The spiritual side, the EVPs are known for capturing frequencies, and it's a way of spirits communicating with us is through electronics.
Oh, that's got to be. That gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know, right? Like, especially that it's like, the house is speaking itself. It's, you don't know 100% that it's a specific spirit. It could be the history of the house, because a lot of houses hold a lot within them. So it could be, the house was speaking to them through the EVP, sharing its deep, dark secrets.
Or, alternatively, it could be the house going, "Please fix my leaky pipe."
Tommy, we do not need to know about your leaky pipe, okay?
Oh no, that was the only thing I could think of. I was trying to think of fix my plastering, or like paint the walls, or fix my wallpaper, but I went for leaky pipe instead.
Of course you did.
But the real kicker was when Janet began speaking as Bill. Like, obviously, going back to that where Bill would speak through her, that was when all of the events would happen, and all of kind of everyone felt like this was the peak of the haunting.
Jesus, so while they were all like having a family gathering around the table with the investigators,
with
the EVPs and everything, and this probably the investigators were being skeptics at this point. They're like, okay, let's see how much of this is real. And the first thing that happens, the EVPs, they hear creepy stuff through that. And then the next thing that happens is Janet just, being, "Oh, by the way, I'm possessed by a ghost who died in this very chair."
He's right here, but I can't really show him. You just have to take my word that I'm possessed by him.
Exactly. That's a brilliant gathering.
But you bring on to a great point with the skeptics and the criticism. Like, there are a lot of people who actually didn't think, and obviously if I heard it, I'd be like, yeah, sure. I doubt it, because you wouldn't really see it until, you know,
You wouldn't believe it
witnessed
until
in
you see
person.
it. Yeah.
No, of course.
It's like, well, some believed the stories of the family and others. Others accused them of faking an entire ordeal. Like, you know, the classic, the dog ate my homework kind of excuse.
Instead, it was a poltergeist has possessed me.
Yeah. It's like,
Imagine trying to get out of your homework that way.
literally, imagine you just, you know, remodel the house, you move cabinets all over the place, and then all of a sudden you go into the kids' room and everything's all over the place. It's an absolute riot. You're going to think it's the kids, and the kids are like, wasn't me, I swear it was a ghost. Like, yeah, right? Just like, get the belt out.
I didn't move it because I don't have the strength to, mother. Think about it logically. No,
literally. Yep.
But they pointed out to the children's behaviour, because obviously you wouldn't really blame the mother in that situation.
Yeah.
You'd blame to the kind of the kids, you know, because you'd think that they were just like attention seeking. But at the end of the day, who wouldn't want to be the star of their own ghost show? Like, I swear MTV did a whole section on it, and you know, there's many YouTubers like Sam and Colby, TGF did it.
I was thinking of MTV Cribs, where it's like MTV Cribs. You're like, here's a poltergeist,
MTV
you know?
Haunted House, yeah.
But nah, absolutely, I agree. It's fair enough. They might be attention seeking, but come on, let's be realistic. They can't fake all this stuff. They're at the end of the day, they're 15, 11, 10, and 7. Like, there's not much you can do at that age.
One of them has a wide imagination, but the rest don't.
Yeah. Well, it's like, at 11 years old, because that's how old Janet is, and Janet's the one that's getting targeted by Bill. Like, at 11 years old, you don't have an idea about, you know, being possessed or all this ghostly stuff or anything like that. Thinking about it, you'd have nightmares, never mind reenacting it.
Oh.
But
I mean, it wouldn't happen very rarely, but
yeah. And because of all the skeptics, you know, the investigators and all the people that came out to kind of see what was going on with their 1970s ghost toolkit, as you called it. They got a lot of hate and scrutiny. Like, many would call them asking questions about their methods and, you know, their motivations as well. They'd question their job.
Well, I understand that, because I don't think everyone would be convinced at the same point.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Some people who doubt it point out that Janet had been caught on occasion bending spoons or faking other stuff. So there's no solid proof. There's no, you know, video. There wasn't anything like that.
Like, who doesn't bend spoons once every so often, though?
I'm a spoon bender.
That's your new title, the Spoon Bender. You know, you've got Avatar, the Airbender, Water Bender, Firebender, Janet, the Spoon Bender.
The 4 nations attacked. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh my goodness, I love that. She should be in the animations. You know, just bending
Avatar,
spoons.
The last spoon bender.
Just throwing them at people. But, you know, it didn't help her case that, you know, fair enough, she was a spoon bender. But she also admitted to faking some of the events.
Oh, come on.
I know, though she claimed the majority of the hauntings were real. At that point, you know, I don't blame the people. It's like, oh, okay, so you faked that, so what else have you faked, kind of thing.
I mean, I think they also pointed out that the voice, you know, like obviously the deep, manly, raspy voice, could have been also like a simple vocal trick, which, you know, the kid figured out somehow. Because I'm not going to lie, they can be very good at mimicking things. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that she could have faked. But if you're doing it for hours on end, I don't think you could.
Yeah, she's not vocally trained. She come
No.
on. Let's.
Her mother wasn't a singer. She wasn't either.
Yeah, and it's the 1970s, they probably didn't have the vocal coaches they have nowadays. To have a vocal coach, you'd actually have to be in Hollywood or central London, have a ton of money to be able to afford it, But, yeah, it's not good.
Was there another kind of, what was the other one? I couldn't remember what it was. They had another incident which skeptics just went completely mad about because they thought it was fake.
Oh yeah, the photographs of Janet so-called floating, the levitation.
That was it. Yeah.
The infamous levitation incident. It was questioned because there was
as you would.
Exactly. There was a photograph of Janet so-called floating, but they believed that it was just her, jumping on her bed, jumping off her bed kind of thing. But then you're not going to be floating straight up. I've not seen the photo. I couldn't find them anywhere.
If it was a clear photo of her floating, then that's a very good camera, because obviously you've got the motion, haven't you? So if you're jumping, then you'd see motion movement. But if it's like a still photo,
which I imagine it was quite a still photo.
I'd like to imagine that.
It would have straight away been dismissed if it was blurry, just being like, yeah, it's clearly her jumping. It's only like recent technology can get a good still photo of something moving fast, like somebody jumping can make it look like they're floating, but not in the 1970s.
So I think in this case, like, a lot of people believed it, but at the same time, there was a lot of people who doubted it. And I mean, I'm not saying that I believe everything that was said, but there's a couple of things which I'd still doubt as well.
Yeah, it's only natural to have, questions in your head, because we're used to the typical daily occurrences, and whenever we're faced with something as bizarre and as weird as this, we will ask as many questions as we can. And fair enough, we are firm believers of all the paranormal and everything. We're still going to ask so many questions,
Oh yeah, instead of asking just the what, we ask the what, the why, the who, the how, the where. We go deep into it. But speaking of, what was it? All of this concluded within the children, didn't it? So the mother was purely untouched. Like, she just saw all the things that happened.
Yeah.
And the case itself had a lasting impact on the kids in the family. Obviously, as it would, you'd be traumatized. So they gained fame from it because, it was the Haunted House of Horrors. Yeah, but it also came with all of its challenges and, the long-term effects.
As honestly, any kind of case like that would, even nowadays, if I was to post on Facebook, being like, oh my god, my chair just started #floating, people would ask questions and be like, really, can I come around and see, and all that,
I'm just going to the ghost house, Mom.
Yeah, literally nothing has changed nowadays. It's going to terrify them. If it was real, it's going to absolutely terrify them. And everywhere they're going to stay, they're going to be absolutely petrified. Not only did that haunt their house at the time, but also haunted their future.
I think it was Janet that was later described how the events affected her. So she spoke up about it and kind of like stated to the news that it was both frightening, but also at the same time fascinating to understand. Which, she was scared, but also she found it interesting, and she kind of wanted to delve deep into it more, which is...
It's only natural.
Yeah, it is. It's the wonder of the world, isn't
it? It's a weird thing in humans, and all of us, we're all fascinated by weird things. So for her, it was kind of like binge watching a scary or weird series, but in real life kind of thing, without the Netflix and chill.
Oh, God. Well, it would be Netflix and chill, but it'd be chills down your spine.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It'd be real life in chills.
Real life and chill. That just suffer. But imagine, like, think about carrying that weight around as you grow up. Like, just even consider
God.
that. It's not just a childhood story that you can just write off. It's, it will be a part of them for life and until the grave. Maybe even after the grave, they'll haunt someone else. You never know.
Yeah. It's kind of like Macaulay Culkin is always known as Kevin from Home Alone. She'll just always be known as the kid from the Poltergeist that was possessed by a.
She'll always be called Bill.
Bill. You can't do anything in your life apart from starting. Actually, no, you can't do anything in your life to forget about it.
No, but I mean, the only thing you can do is go to like the media and kind of, tell your story and see if you can inspire other people or at least show it out, can't you?
Yeah, but a lot of them did kind of just distance themselves from the haunting as they got older, so they wouldn't really talk about it in the media. They wouldn't really talk about it at all.
I think Janet was the only one, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. But even as she grew up, you've not really heard much from her since. We don't even know what's going on now, kind of thing.
Well, we can have a look into it, but I don't think it'll be much because
it's just standard lives they're living
under the rug. Yeah, exactly. Nothing's happened to her. I think after the house, they moved out of the house. I think that's where it stopped. Like when they grew up and went, yeah, this is fun.
Exactly. You do want to just move on with your life and kind of close that chapter off and try and leave it in the background. But you can only do what you can do. As I said earlier, the Enfield Poltergeist case did inspire so much. It is one of the most known cases without people knowing they know about it, just because it's inspired so many documentaries, books, and movies. Like The Conjuring 2 was inspired by, the Enfield Poltergeist.
I'll have to watch that again then.
Oh, I love the Conjuring series.
After reading through this and kind of looking at it, I might need to watch it again and go, ooh.
Absolutely. But that kind of brought the haunting into the mainstream and kind of made people aware of this stuff. And even though it's a movie and people think it's fake, but it is inspired by true real stories and events. Absolutely. I don't know. Have you ever seen the Conjuring series by Sam & Colby?
I've seen a couple of the movies, yeah, but obviously because I'm not a horror fan,
No.
like watching them.
I mean, Sam & Colby went to the actual Conjuring house.
No, I haven't.
You're gonna have to watch that. So,
I was gonna say I need to watch that. I don't know.
As everybody can tell, I'm a huge fan of them, so I'm going to talk about them quite a lot.
Sam & Colby hit him up.
Especially when it comes to paranormal episodes that we do. I will be referring back and forth to them. But
it's really a testament to how all of our fascination with the supernatural can turn, ordinary people into cultural icons and these celebrities.
Yeah.
I think that, even though they were on Vine, they went, I think it was Vine? I don't know.
Yes, they started off with Vine.
Yeah,
do you remember the Vine audio that's like dim 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 hey hey.
Well, yeah,
what? That is Sam & Colby.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people. TikTok sound, I swear, wasn't it?
It was brought onto TikTok, and it's still one of the biggest sounds out there. Wow. But if you watch a Sam & Colby video and then listen to that sound, you can tell it's their voices.
Interesting. I might need to actually just do some research with Sam & Colby then, because that's I've never heard of that before.
But the story has transcended its original context, becoming part of today's pop culture in ways that the Hutchins family never imagined. For them, it was just a phenomenon in the moment, and enough people and media and investigators gathered around at that time, they didn't think it's going to cause such cultural impact on, decades later.
Of future generations, yeah. It's one of those cases that just lingers in public consciousness. Like,
Absolutely.
it doesn't stop, it just sparks even more debate, starts even more discussions decades later than actually it occurred.
Like, look at us now. It is 2024, and we're doing
it happened almost like, what, 50 years ago?
Yeah, we're doing a full episode on this.
Yeah. Do we even know what's happened in kind of recent times with it?
I have no clue. I'm just focusing on the past events. Maybe we'll do a follow-up episode on some of the cases that we've covered, just to say what's happening now in with the places,
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Just kind of like go back on our cases and be like, oh, this is what happened, quite recently. That'd be kind of an interesting thing to do. Go back to them almost. Go back over all the case and kind of go through some of the a recap basically, and then go to recent events.
Yeah. Like, obviously there has been things in recent years. Like, there's been renewed interest in the case, like us and other investigators, documentaries aiming to shed light on what really happened with the Enfield poltergeist.
I think they're still trying to piece together like puzzle pieces and of the Hodgson family themselves, and they're all like their ghostly roommates,
Exactly, but the truth is elusive, much like the ghost itself.
Like what you did there, yeah. I think it seems like every few years though, someone comes out with a new theory or like a fresh take on the events. So I think that's why we should go back to it. To see
absolutely.
what other people are actually saying and kind of get other people's opinions on it.
Yeah, because even though it is such an old case, people daily kind of blow the dust off it and reopen the file, like us,
Oh yeah,
so
we love doing that.
It just goes to show that some mysteries refuse to stay buried,
Ooh.
I
don't know.
But
anyway, I think that's all we have, though.
That's it. It's everything we could give you. But why don't we keep the conversation going? We want yous to find out more information. We want yous to tell us what you've found out. Tell us, stuff we may have missed. We want to keep it going. We don't want it to end as soon as we stop recording. We want it to keep going, whether that's on TikTok, whether that's on, in the comment section on,
it's on YouTube,
Spotify,
yeah.
So whether you believe in the paranormal or not, the Enfield Poltergeist remains a captivating story that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural.
But also, thank you guys for humouring us and joining us on kind of all these spooky journeys and the future ones we're going to make. And just as a little PS from me, don't forget to check under your bed tonight, just in case, might be Henry Cavill, the sleep paralysis demon, who knows?
And don't forget where you put your furniture as well.
Make sure it's always in the right place.
Yeah, tie it down or, nail it down if you need to. Keep your furniture in a tight leash. But anyway, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.